cool. Now, how did you even get into this? Like, what inspired you to learn how to do Reiki, and how long have you been doing this?
Well, basically, it kind of was like something that came to me. So I started off being a spiritual advisor, and the reason why I became that was because I used to give family and friends advice my whole entire life. And at one point, I didn't even know what I was supposed to do with my life. And then I basically tapped in the spirit, and they're like, "Well, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be giving people advice on how to go about life, on how to get through things." And I had to go through a lot in order to help as well. So I learned a lot through my experiences, but Reiki kind of came to me. I knew that I was some type of healer just because I knew when I was around people how they would be. They would feel, I knew that I was a nurturing spirit, things of that nature. But when Reiki came about, I just knew. First off, like I said, it was something that came to me. Like spirit basically was just like, okay, Reiki is basically one of the things that you will be doing. But when I realized what it really truly was, I was like, okay, so this is me healing people, and this is something I really love to do. So I really just wanted to get into Reiki, just kind of to up my healing skills from the spiritual advising, because it's one thing to talk, to be able to talk people through their issues and things like that, but when you are able to have the power to heal people energetically, it's so much more powerful. So I'm all about energy, and so when I found out that Reiki, what it actually was, I was super excited about it. And how I even got my Reiki certificate and everything was all divine. So it was a beautiful thing to have.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Wow, that's amazing. Man, that's what's up. So now, do you have like a website, or how can people, or do you have a YouTube page or social media? How can people follow what you're doing or reach out to you? And
Yes, I have a website and a YouTube. My website is the maatexperience.org. My Instagram and YouTube are both Maat Nicole, MaatNicole. You can reach me in any of those ways. But again, like my website, the maatexperience.org, that is where you can pretty much see all of my services and products, as I do also sell spiritual baths. My bestseller is my self love bath because I'm all about self love. And so these baths have really helped a lot of women and men, really help with their self love, loving themselves again, especially coming out of relationships and depending on where they were, how they were raised, and things like that. But you can definitely find my services there for sure.
oh, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. Spiritual baths. Talk about that a
Mhm.
little bit more. Like, what exactly is that? Like, is it like a regular bath, like we thinking of, or is it something different?
Okay,
Or
so basically, a spiritual bath is just you're using herbs. So I do use normal stuff like bath salt. So I use like Epsom salt. I use Himalayan pink salt. And then I use other herbs, and herbs have medicinal and spiritual properties as well as cooking properties as well. So I use the herbs that are used for, so for instance, for the self-love bath, I use rosemary, I use roses, lavender, and I use hibiscus, and those all represent love, self-love, self-care, things of that nature. And so basically, you just use herbs and you bring them together in one bath. And the bath, the what makes the bath is like the Epsom salt, like I was saying, um, and like the pink Himalayan salt, things that you would normally put in your baths. I'll bring those together, and then I actually set intentions with my mind, with my spirit, with my hands, because obviously I do Reiki. So I Reiki the baths, and I set intentions that, um, whomever takes this bath is going to gain a lot of self love. I also play frequencies while I'm making the self love bath. I play 528 frequency, which is the love frequency. And then I sage and Palo Santo the baths as well. So it's really like a whole ceremonial spiritual practice when you make spiritual baths. It's really all about setting the intentions And if anybody knows about intentions, it's a very powerful tool when it comes to manifestation and just in life in general. You always want to set an intention with everything that you do. You always want to be intentional behind it. You don't want to just be kind of just flying off the seat of your pants when it comes to just dealing with life in general or just operating in life. You always want to be intentional so that way you're always knowing what to look forward to in a sense. Oh, your mute is on.
Oh yeah, I have to edit it. Yeah, but no, I was just saying, wow, that's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that information. I mean, it sounds like you putting a lot of work into what you're doing. So
Hmm.
definitely people will get their money's worth. But more importantly, like you was saying, spirituality, spirit. Like, what does that mean to you?
For me, like spirituality is just really tapping into your higher self, tapping into your ancestors, the ones that came before you, and also tapping into like your guardian angels and ascended masters, which is basically just those who were human beings at one point and they mastered um their lessons on earth and they were able to ascend and now they're here and now they're pretty much in the spirit world to kind of help you through your journey so you can be an ascended master as well. So spirit to me is just like I said, just tapping into your higher self, tapping into that self that kind of knows, have that knowing sense. You know, we have our ego side and then we have like our spiritual side. And I just feel like a lot of us have been operating out of our egos. We didn't even know that we had a whole other side to ourselves. We didn't even know that we had a right side. We always just thought it was just one side, and that's that ego side. And the spiritual side is really like your God body, your goddess body, the one that operates in love and peace and unconditional love, the one that makes those sound decisions, and the one that you hear like that voice in the back of your mind, the voice in the back of your head. That would be like your spiritual self. It's not like a religion, it's just like a way of life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you broke it down perfectly. I appreciate you clarifying that for me and the viewers.